Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah. Welcome back to another episode of the Sarah Scoop Show. I'm so excited because we're talking to Julien Farel, who has made such an amazing name for himself. This is awesome. I can't wait to hear all about you, your business, those $1,000 haircuts, and just the scoop on who you are and what you do. So to kick things off, I would love to hear your story of how you got started in the beauty industry.
Well, it's complicated. I started in the beauty industry because my parents divorced. At the time, I was in a school to become a professional soccer player, so mostly an athlete, and I started cutting hair in my grandmother's kitchen at 14 years old. And I start hair at 14 years old. So then after that, when I divorced, I get kicked out from my national team because I did not show up to a training. And instead, I went to race in ski because that was my other passion. And as I didn't have any parents to give me any direction, I just did whatever I thought was good for me. So, make the story short, I get kicked out and I start doing hair at 14. And to move fast forward, I came into the US. I was working for a French company called Jacques Desange, who sent me to the US. I didn't speak any English as I have left school at 14 years old and I didn't know anybody. And I start by the little door, sleeping on the floor in Brooklyn, like a homeless. And I start working in this salon, and then at night I was going from house to house to sell my haircut for $30. And I was doing 10 haircuts after work every night. And so I was making $300 of cash every single night. And that's how I started at 22 years old. And that's also how I learned English because I refused to just stay with the French community. And then years later, I get headhunting by Fekai, and I stay a couple, 7 years or 8 years there. And in 2001, I opened my own salon with only 4 people. And and then we grow. In 2007, we opened the US Open as a pop-up. And this year will have been the 14 years, but this year was a little strange year as there was no US Open for hairdresser or for any people who can do it. We had to refuse to go there for 3 weeks and just stay in a bubble. And then 2008, we started growing the company and we did a wellness facility. 2009, we opened another salon on Fifth Avenue. 2010, we opened. 2009 was Mexico in Cabo San Lucas. 2010 was Fifth Avenue. 2011 was a hair care in salon only. And 2012 was Miami. And then 2014, we moved our infrastructure from Madison Avenue, where we had 4 floors, to the Regency Hotel, where we have 10,000 square feet, and it's all on 1 floor. But it's much easier to actually see everybody and run the place. And then since that, we just keep going.
That's awesome. And that's amazing to hear, like, how it grew over the years. So many people just see you now and think overnight success, but you were doing this for so long.
The overnight success is, it's 20 years of hard work. I came in 1992, speaking no English. And then in 2004, in 2001, I met my wife. And this is how, not for my English, but this is how she helped me to also grow my business a lot. We got married in 2004. And that's how, after we got married, she helped me to grow my business because that's what she was doing. She was a marketer. And she was having a lot of big clients like Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, BlackRock, a lot of big companies. I said, instead of building those big guys, come to help me. I need help.
Yeah, that's awesome. And since then, I mean, you have done some, like, you do hair for big names, and you know, you're well known now. I saw so many videos and articles about your $1,000 haircut. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of how it started and why it's worth it?
You know, the problem you have in price, and I think there is two way how to see the business is number one is America is about don't think, just work, work, and you know it's supply and demand. So when your time start to be really small and the demand start to be bigger, then you start to have waiting lists to get book ahead, and this is how your price keep growing and growing and growing. And you know, we talk about the $1,000 haircut, but we start our junior price at 175, so it's almost the same than going to a hotel. You know, you go to a standard room or you go to a suite. It's still a room. It's just a different view and the different different size into it. So you know, it's the same thing about Ombre. They grow and they have more and more demand. Then the price go to 400, 500, and then when you start and you don't have the demand, we have to push you to build you up. And you know, this is the best thing of America is you could come with nothing, be a little nothing, and if you just walk and not complain, just walk and look and be positive, and things happen somehow. You don't know how, you don't know why, just things happen. People push you ahead, and that's really what is my story. Is you know, if you ask me to summarize in one word, there's only one. It's work, and then the rest is be positive. You know, I believe of the old law of attraction. I believe of you attract the good people if you stay good people. If you are true of who you are and what you give, and not be fake. Because I don't believe this country has any way to cut the corner. There is no more space for that. It's like you have to go to the ground and you know clean the floor with a toothbrush. That's how I start doing hair, and you know and do a million of shampoo, and then do the next is million of blow dry and cutting, learning every single stage of our business.
Along with doing services like hair and all of those things, you also have your own line of products.
Correct.
And yeah, so if you want to tell us a little bit about that, and I know you have, yes, that's what
This is my line of products. So
yeah.
what do I believe in products? And since I'm 14 years old, I've done so much research because I'm only interested about one thing is how do we keep our hair, right? So you see mine looks like a toupee. I have so much hair, right? But 10 years ago, I was losing my hair. I have less hair at 40 than I have at 50. And the reason is I only use that shampoo. What is a non-foaming shampoo? It's a shampoo who doesn't have any sulfate. Therefore, there is no bubble. So I never use a shampoo anymore, ever. Because I believe we are using today a shampoo or a soap or a detergent who is basically smell good and make you feel good because it smells good. And it gives you a lot of salt, so you feel great. Your hair feels so amazing. But at the same time, you retract your natural nourishing oil. That's what Restore does not do. It took us 5 years of research to do all the compound. All my money was invested into the technology because the traditional shampoo, right, a commercial traditional shampoo, was been invented in 1927 in Berlin by a German called Hans Schwarzkopf. And today we're using the same base of products, same soap, same detergent. We don't use the same phone, we don't use the same car, we don't use the same, well, not computer, because there was no computer at the time. Everything have changed, technology have changed. And today we're still selling via a marketing, a celebrity, or something else, some products who are hurting the hair follicle. So what Restore does, it doesn't bring hair who are dead. It keeps your hair alive. It keeps your hair follicle alive. It does not make them die.
And how long for people that start with the product, like how soon do they usually see results? How long do you recommend they use it?
Every day, immediately. And you see results because you stop taking away your natural nourishing oil. You instead strengthen your hair follicle. You hydrate your scalp. You give food. You feed food to what needs to be fed. What is your scalp and your hair follicle? This part here does not matter. That you put a conditioner, any kind, any brand, it doesn't matter. It's a conditioner. What really care is that part, the roots part. That's the only thing I care about. And for me, as a hairdresser, I care about the hair because no hair, no business. Many women or many men, as soon as you start to feel like, post-pregnancy, post-baby, and as soon as you start to reach 18, 19, 20 years old, and you start your hair to fell out, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And you're like, you look at your father, he's like, oh, my father's bald, I'm going to be bald. And you look at your grandfather and say, oh, my grandfather is bald, I'm going to be bald. Yeah, my grandfather was completely bald. And I'm not more because I changed the way to wash my hair. I don't believe about washing your hair with soap. Soap is for your car, your dishes.
So people can just find that on your website and order it online?
They can buy, they just have to put Julien Farel Restore, and they can find it on Net-a-Porter, on QVC, on Amazon, on our website, anywhere they want. It doesn't matter. It's the same product. That's a Restore. It's a non-foaming shampoo. It's a shampoo who is about keeping your hair follicle and your hair. Period. Nothing else. That's the only thing I care, actually. For me, it's, this country have given me everything. And today I'm fighting because I believe about pay forward and helping people to have great hair. I don't know anyone in the world, not a man, not a woman, who say, oh, I wish I'd be bald. Because any man, they want to be bald, they take a buzzer and they just buzz it off. Even like Britney Spears when she did that, right? But 2 months later, the hair grew back. So it's a choice. But you should not be, because you have hair problem, because you can't keep your hair. That should not be, not in 2020.
No, that's awesome. I love that you are doing that and creating these amazing products so people can order your product. How do they get in to get a haircut with you?
Oh, they just have to make an appointment.
So you take anyone that can come in?
I take anybody.
Awesome.
I'm just a nobody, I came by the little doors, touching people is the biggest joy we have as hairdresser, right? And if you can make them look great, but if you can help them to keep their hair, this is the biggest joy will ever be to me, bigger than anything else. Doing celebrity and all this, it's wonderful, right? This whole world of the athlete and the political or even the movie star and all this is great, model and all this, it's great, it's wonderful. But at the end of the day, we are just people. We are just people who have the same feeling, the same joy, the same tears, and helping people and touching people's heart. That's what this is meant to be. That's the only thing I truly care. And when you ask me why $1,000, right? It's a lot of money. I come from a little hole in France with 1,000 people. No traffic lights, and truly the roots of the heavy French country, right, of the south of France. So when you say why that is, when I work like an architect. So every hair should hold every other hair, right? So when you cut the hair, and they actually cut well, at the beginning, they grow, and they still hold each other. And you can wait 6 months until you get the next haircut. So instead of having some people, they leave the hairdresser, they go home, and the next day say, oh, I can't redo my hair. It's terrible. I don't like it. My volume is wrong. Yeah, because the hairdresser knows how to blow, know how to put the volume together. So they know how to trick it. But Sarah, when you're not with me, this is how I want the haircut to perform. This is what you buy when you custom made a suit, or you get a designer who do something for you, for your cheekbone, for your nose, for your forehead, for your jaw, for your shoulder, for your body. This is how it should be. Nothing else. It should be something who actually fits you when you live, but it should fit you when it's wet. And you could already see the shape. If already you have no idea what's going on when it's wet, and you're like, you knew already, whatever you pay is too much. As I said, it's always about, if I go to a diner and I have a sandwich for $10 and it's disgusting, it's too expensive. But if I go to a diner and it's amazing, I say it's amazing. If I now, on the same thing, if you go to a Michelin restaurant, right, having this dream meal of your life, and you go there, and if you don't get satisfied, you're going to be disappointed. New York is not how much, it's how good. It's as simple as that. Because whatever it is, if you don't like it, it's always too expensive. Mm-hmm. Always, no matter what is it.
You're paying for what you get, and you're paying for the quality.
That's it. But the quality has to stay forward. Mm-hmm. For this part, because we do haircut, I have to build a volume on the space. That's how I cut hair, like an architect. So there's one thing, I left school very early, but I'm very good at math. And there is one thing, or is my forte, is I have a vision. And that is for everything. My wife cannot understand that part. She can, pack the bag and say, oh my God, how is it going to fit? And I say, it's fine, it's fitting. It's like, how? It's not possible. The car is too small. We need a truck. We need another car. We'll take 2 cars. I say, no, it's fitting. And she's like, you have a vision for space, what I cannot explain. I always had it. Mm-hmm. That is something, I have the vision of line, and I see how shape could go together. That's then when you do hair, it's about arriving to actually make it happen when you cut them, to do it together, because hair is like the texture play, elasticity play. A hair with wet is different than when it's dry. There's a lot of things into it. But when you design something, it's about your eyebrow, your eye, your nose, your cheekbone, your forehead, your jaw, your shoulder, and everything else. So the first thing you have to do is to look at someone without the robe, just with their normal clothes, to see them standing up, because you want to see the shape. Some people, like, you see them, they already have the robe on it, they're sitting like this, and you cut the hair, and you say, oh my God, she's like, I love it. And then she stands up, and you're like, oh my God, I'm 5 inches too short. Mm-hmm. Because you have not get the body. The body is a main thing of the proportion. And what do you do when you cut hair? And what you, as a woman, you want is, oh, I love it. But what you want, this is not the real test. Mm-hmm. The real test is you go out and see your friend. And if you have the 5 first people say, oh my God, Sarah, what did you do? I don't like your hair. Did you cut your hair? What did you do to your hair? Already, like, you hate it. Doesn't matter what your feeling was. It's about the summarize of all the people and the way they look at you and say, oh my God, I look that bad. Is it bad? Is it bad? And that's suddenly, if the 5 first people say, oh, you look 10 years younger. You look amazing. Oh my God, you look so sexy. What did you do to your hair? You look so beautiful. Or even better, oh my God, Sarah, what did you do? You look amazing. And they don't know if you have done Botox or if you have changed your makeup or do you. It's about how the other people look at you and say, wow, what did you do? You look amazing. I want to go. This is not the price. It's not how much. It's how someone makes you feel and how you feel yourself. That's as simple as that.
That is perfectly summed up. Thank you for sharing all of those tips and ideas. For people that want to follow in your footsteps and even work with you or for you or do what you're doing, what advice do you have for up and coming hairstylists?
You need to love how to work. Actually, there's two things. I can teach anybody to cut hair, even you. Anybody. I can't teach loving people. That I cannot teach. I cannot teach you how to love to work or love to care for someone. That is when someone comes to our place, when you go to get a haircut, you come to feel good about it. The hairdresser is not the superstar. He doesn't give you a favor. It's not the artist who's going to do his painting and say, oh, thank you so much. You know, the biggest hairdresser are not the most talented one. The biggest one are the people who are actually the most understanding one, caring one, the people who see the whole picture. Because sometimes just cutting hair is not enough. That is the secret. Is if you don't want, if you come and I give you something who may be an amazing haircut, but this is not what you want, you will never come back. And a lot of people, they do what they want because they think they know better. It's about who truly are you, Sarah? What do you truly want? What makes you feel good? How do you see yourself? So bring me image of the dream of what you would want. So you bring me 10, magazine sheet, and we're gonna go through it and say, well, that work, that doesn't work. That actually just a picture that will never be in real. This is not even for her. This is a broad right. And there's all this question, what do you truly want? How do you see yourself? And the reason I say that is, and often I ask people, bring me a magazine, bring me anything you have. Because if you go to a restaurant, it's like, oh my God, I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I say, okay, great. Go ahead. I say, well, what do you want? You want fish or you want meat? You want pasta or you're a vegetarian or anything? Give me some tips about what you already like. So if you say, oh, I love that. I say, well, that could work. And you have the same forehead or you have the same cheekbone. There's a lot of things who can go. And then we go through it to understand it. I used to cut hair in my past and youth where I was doing 37 clients a day. That's too much. And you didn't have time to actually think or care. You're just a machine to cut hair. So when I went on my own, at the time I was charging, I think, $160, right? So if you multiply by 37, that's sales budget, right? But when I went on my own, that was right after 9/11. And my first write-up in WWD was, is Madison Avenue need another expensive salon? And I said, we were only 4 people at the time, right? So the 3 other people say, we're going to lower the price. I said, no, we're not. We're not going to lower anything. We're going to be who we are. We're going to care more than anybody else. That is the question. Care more. Walk with your heart. I'm sure you have seen Jerry Maguire, right? And this famous thing about show me the money, right? If you walk with your heart in any industry, doesn't matter what you do, one day you will have the money. But you can't cut the corner. You cannot. People see through. They see when you care and they see when you don't care.
I think that's great advice. So people that want to do what you're doing, they need to love it and they need to care if they want to be successful.
Anything you do, you need to care.
Yeah.
And I said to anybody, no matter what is it, if I go to a restaurant and I get the bill and I got the choice to make to leave a tips, sometimes I'm going to leave 30, 40%. Sometimes I'm going to leave 0 and say, get yourself a new job. Because if they give me a favor to serve me, I want to feel like they actually care, not like they are rude, not like they are careless, not like they are impolite. And in that case, I like this country because you choose how much you want to pay for service. In Europe, they give you 18 or 20% automatically, and they throw you the coffee or the whatever you have. It's terrible, and we pay for that. Here, at least you have the choice.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, and truly, I charge $1,000 a haircut, right? And I have clients who give me like major tips, like ridiculous tips. And I'm like, why? I said, and I don't say why, because someone have taught me when I was 22 years old, never refuse money, and I don't.
Yeah.
And I say, because if they give it to you, it's because they want to give it to you. They don't have to. I'm the owner. They don't have to, absolutely. But that's about showing you how happy they are. And I can tell where I really got the jackpot, like they are above and behind. I mean, like you can see like they glow. That's what you do to people. You make them so sad, so frustrated, so depressed, or you make them glow. Even if someone who has a bad day, when suddenly they feel great about themselves, they feel like they're indestructible, like nothing can be not achieved. That gives them confidence as ever. On the other hand, when you screw up, you know it. And or I'm human, right? I'm not a machine. I've done some mistake. Sometimes I forgot, and I had one really crazy anecdote. It was a long time ago, and this woman came and asked me for a consultation, and did the consultation, and we agreed, and it was great, easy. And then she came a few days later, and because I was doing 30 plus clients a day, I forgot. So she came, like, you remember? I said, yeah, you remember. And I cut like this much. And she's like, we said we will keep all the length.
Oh,
so the haircut was amazing. I had this vision that was fitting her so well. It is just not she wanted. And, I treat her, I pay for her products. She didn't pay for her haircut. And I treat her for the next 3-4 years. I give her free blow dry every time she wanted to come. I was feeling so guilty, like I screw up. And at the minute I had cut one side, I knew it was the memory came back. I was like, shit. And that's happened. And that's how you learn. Do not go too fast. Because that day I just didn't have the time to talk to her. She was not important enough. So since I have time, I take time, because now I give an hour to every client. I used to give 10 minutes.
That's awesome, though. It just shows you learn something, you change, you put the importance where it needs to go.
You just realize how important you are in somebody's life. And, if you don't like a suit or a shirt, you can buy a new one, get a new one. It's not important. It's like a blow dry. You screw up a blow dry, it's not important. You get your hair wet and it's fine. But when you screw up a haircut, or you screw up an eyebrow, or you screw up a haircut more than a color, because a color, at least you can correct in general. But a haircut, when it's too short, it's too late. That's the reality.
Well, Julien, you have shared such wonderful insight with us today. I really appreciate you just being such an open book and giving us so many great, just like advice for not only hair, but just life advice and just everything. And if people do want to reach out to you and get in touch for questions or to book appointments, what's the best way that they should do that?
Go to our Instagram at Julien Farel. Then you can email us at any time. I will answer any email personally. It's not, it will come through like the Instagram person in charge of that, who works with us and for us, but but then she will follow me. Any personal question, I will have it. It's just very easy. I would rather them to actually send an email more than working on, messaging on Instagram, because as I'm not doing personally the Instagram, and we have a team who's doing on this, the email, I know, if they just answer the email from the Instagram account, will come and be forwarded to me, and I will answer this person or anybody, any question. I'm always happy to help people. That's what I was born for. Loving woman.
I love that. Thank you so much, Julien. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you, Sarah, for your time.
Awesome. Thank you. I will talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.